Hey everyone, I've got to say, I'm a little fired up for this episode, but in a really good way. I'll warn you, it's a bit strong, a bit of a rant even. Yeah, I'll be talking about the Matrix, but trust me, like always, this episode is about you. I'm here to serve you, to help you wake up, to thrive. So here we go. Welcome to the Rising Digital Leaders Show. I am your host, Matthew Doan. Today's organizations are powered by digital capabilities, cloud, data science, cybersecurity, and much more. To be competitive, we must have tech-savvy leaders steering the ships. But these people don't come out of thin air. We must develop them. This show is for the technical experts of the world, those brave souls that feel unheard and lost in the crowd, but know they were born to lead. We need you to rise, to become impactful digital leaders. In these episodes, we help you undergo a self-transformation, developing the mindset and skill set that'll massively enhance your abilities, influence, and career potential. We take a different approach, pulling in lessons from philosophy, psychology, neuroscience, and history to enrich the professional and personal aspects of your life. Thank you for your time. Please subscribe to the Rising Digital Leaders Show. Now, let's dig in. Let me start with The Matrix. In this movie trilogy, humanity is unknowingly trapped inside a simulated reality. It suggests that everyone has the individual responsibility to make the choice between the real world and an artificial one. For me, I've come to see this as choosing between A world of my own choosing, and B, a world that's programmed into me. And trust me, I choose A. I choose to create my own world. But why am I talking about this? It's because I believe most of us are trapped in some version of the Matrix. A reality where we think we're self-directed, but we actually have very little control. My personal mission is to help people break free of the Matrix. My aim is to help them become significantly more capable and successful in their career and life. Okay, so how does this actually play out in reality? I'll use one of my coaching clients as an example. He's in data science, really fed up with organizational politics, micromanagement, and fighting to be noticed. It's a very common scenario. He's feeling confined in that space. Like he'd be trapped there for decades if he didn't do something about it. So that's why he came to me. We've spoken about him wanting to have his own business. He wants to run his own show with his unique ideas someday. But there's this other side to the equation. He's got a family. He feels tied to the corporate world. There's a safety net there. He's convinced himself that this reality is all that there could ever be, the corporate world. I told him that's not the case. Then I talked about the Matrix, and we've been making significant progress breaking him out of it ever since. But believe me, it's a process. This trapped feeling, it's actually subconscious programming. What you've learned is that you must choose from an existing corporate system and just make the most of it. I'm telling you right now, it's time to overwrite that nonsense. Let me introduce this idea of dual paths, which Marty often discusses online. I'm a big fan of his. Number one is this idea of the utility path, where you have salary, benefits, training. You can build a network. You can get exposed to large-scale, meaningful problems. It helps you build a resume in a way that others deem valuable. This is the corporate system at work. You plug into a medium, large-sized company, and there's lots of good there. There's a lot of reason to get there and get a foothold, especially as you're starting your career. But then there's this other side, the authentic self that John often talks about. This is what you were born to be. You have these innate qualities, ideas, skills. This is the place where you can do work that lights you up, and it makes a difference in other people's lives. The only problem is the authentic self path rarely overlaps with the utility path. So you're forced to choose one or the other. And the utility path, because it has so many outputs and financial benefits, we often choose that and we get trapped there. But John's view is that we don't need to live purely in the utility path. It might make sense for some period of time, right? But ultimately, you're likely going to feel empty on the inside eventually. It's going to drain you if it's not already. The idea is that you're serving other people's priorities, playing by their rules. This wears us down over time, and you've likely felt these pains already. Instead, we need to double down on the authentic self path. Now, we owe it to ourselves. Number one is that we want to feel fulfilled, like we matter, and we're holding true to our beliefs and interests. The other reason, number two, is that you can truly build a livelihood from this if you do it right and you stick with it over time. It might start as a side hustle or just community building and establishing an audience online. And it could eventually become your full-time thing. We see it happening all the time, especially in this new Web3 era. Everything's digital. You can bring this to life in several ways. So if you're going down the authentic self path, start betting on social media. Pick one platform. Start getting your words out there, your sketches, put your code out there. Whatever it is that you do, deliver in the format that feels right to you. But you need to start building a portfolio, displaying your beliefs, becoming known for something. Embed yourself in communities. Start niching down. Start figuring out the specific area that lights you up and start going after it. There aren't any constraints when you're operating as your authentic self, but you have to play the long game. You know this, nothing good happens overnight. I love the Japanese concept of ikigai. It's a motivating force, something or someone that gives a person a sense of purpose or a sense for living. We want that. We want to feel driven by that every day. What it really means, though, if you're following your ikigai, is it's this intersection where your specific interests and talents align with what the world needs and will pay for. Think about that. Interests, talents, what the world needs, and what it'll pay for. That's the combination for feeling fulfilled, happy inside, and earning a livelihood, getting rewarded, making sure that you're able to provide for your family, have a long-term strategy for what you're doing in a practical sense. I'll use myself as an example to talk about that blend of utility and authentic self. From a utility perspective, I have one foot in corporate. I derive some meaning there. It's not constant. There are bad days. I experienced a really down day quite recently, but I know there's utility. I mean, I have a wife and 4 kids. People are depending on me. I need to provide for them. I need stability, but that's not everything. I'm also betting on the authentic self path. I have my foot in a different game. I know I was put on this earth to serve others. I'm here to help improve their lives. I know my skill set and worldviews are geared towards doing this, so I'm doing it in different forms right now. You're hearing me on a podcast. I have different forms of media, some videos online, daily posts that come out on social, a newsletter. I'm extracting what's going through my head and putting it out there. I do so in speaking as well. I also have a coaching practice where I help people in a one-on-one sense really uncover their pains and desires and work their way towards a career in life that's more fulfilling. And believe me, that's deeply meaningful. There's nothing better for me than knowing I'm changing someone's life, especially when they say that back to me. Oh man, I can sleep so well when I know I'm doing that for other people. It's everything to me. But this is my reality. You see this? I have a utility play. I also have an authentic self-play. This is my reality. It's not someone else's. I'm taking control of it. I know the variables. I know what I need to bring, and I'm making bets. I'm staying true to what I believe inside and also what I can do is valuable in this world. There's a couple last points to my rant. One is right now, you might be climbing the wrong hill. Entrepreneur and investor Chris Dixon laid out in this great 2009 article that just because we start our career in one profession or career path doesn't mean we need to continue on that same path. We feel like we need to keep going, more salary, a bigger title, more awards. We feel stuck to this path, but that usually just leads most people to feel empty inside. Instead, ask these questions. Number 1, should you just keep climbing this hill because that's where you started? Number 2, will going up this hill create the life you desire? And then lastly, should you reset and identify the hill worth climbing. These insights don't come easily. You need life experiences. You need time to simmer and contemplate. You need to fall down, get back up. But you may need to trek down your current hill and start climbing another one. All of this talk of breaking from the matrix and seizing control, it centers on this idea of freedom. We're wired for it. We crave it. It means something different for different people, though. There's a set of categories. Think about it like this. Number one, finances. We want financial freedom. I haven't met anyone that doesn't want this. It's not so that we can fly first class everywhere or have a Lambo. It's not that. It's we don't want to have to worry about money. We want to make sure that part of our life is good so that we can focus on other aspects. We also want freedom of purpose. Freedom of purpose helps us pursue what we are meant to do in life. Another one is freedom of relationships, so that we can have the connections with the community and the people that we seek to serve, the friends we want in our lives, the depth with our family. All of those things are incredibly important to us as humans. And then lastly, freedom of time. And this one's biggest for me. The ability to control what we spend our time on is vital. Our energy and attention, we want to direct it towards things that we deem valuable, that we are able to give back with. So I implore you to wake up. Listen, you get one shot at life. Understand your version of the matrix and learn what it's doing to you. From there, grab control. Start now, though. Don't wait. As Emerson would say, this is all about self-reliance, taking control of your path and living a life with no regrets. Yes, you have to provide for your family. Yes, you have to ground career decisions in practical realities. I'm not ignoring that. But you can and you should dream. Follow that inner voice that's screaming at you. Start now. You can do the utility thing. You can also do the authentic self thing in parallel. It doesn't have to be one or the other yet. You can do both. You should. Know this too. You're already everything you need to be. You don't need to wait. You don't need more education. Like an NFT, a non-fungible token, you are one of one. So start showing us your uniqueness. Okay, my rant is complete. I hope you're fired up. Go start changing your life. Hit me up if I can help. Talk soon. This is your host, Matthew Doan. Thank you for listening to the Rising Digital Leaders Show. Again, my mission is to help you elevate your career as a digital leader and live a thriving life. I hope this episode sparks new thinking and helps you take meaningful action in your world. If you enjoyed the experience, I'd be so grateful if you subscribed and left a 5-star review. That's it for now. Until next time, my friends, stay virtuous.